In this edition of TAC Tic Talk, Jaclyn and I caught up with Chairman and CEO of Foot Levelers, Monte Greenawalt, and his talented daughter, Jamie, who is also serving as the Senior Vice President at Foot Levelers. It's been 70 years since Dr. Monte Greenawalt began making spinal pelvic stabilizers so that his adjustments would hold better. Listen on to hear how Foot Levelers has really shaped the course of chiropractic during that time, and to learn about this family business driven by passion, leadership, and service. Welcome to TAC Tic Talk. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Busch. I'm a chiropractor and editor of the American Chiropractor magazine, along with my sister, Jaclyn Touzard, longtime publisher of the American Chiropractor. And here we are with Monte Greenawalt and Jamie Greenawalt to review the article which was published in the November 2022 issue of the American Chiropractor, which I'm holding right here, and 70 years and just getting started. So we're here to honor the 70 years that Foot Levelers has been around. So thank you for joining us. It's always an honor to be able to talk to both of you, and I'm really grateful for the leadership that you've demonstrated throughout all of those decades for the profession and for the world. I'm going to go ahead and just start asking some questions. Kent, what are some of the things that you had learned from your father as you watched him working to grow this company and develop the spinal pelvic stabilizers that we come to know as Foot Levelers today?
Sure. Well, I tell you, Joe, and by the way, thanks for doing this. We're really so grateful. We've had a long-term relationship with both of you and your fine publication. We're some of your biggest fans. So thank you for having us here today. We really appreciate it. I'd say my father gave me what I'll call some principles, the things to sort of guide and run your business by. And I'll explain those to you. The first one that he had was a group of three. He says, you always have to run your business with honesty, sincerity, and integrity. That was his number one thing. Whatever you were doing, you had to be honest about it, you had to be sincere about it, and you had to have a lot of integrity. And that was the fundamental building block that he said you should use all your ideas and all your energy around that type of thing. Okay? The next thing, after you had that foundational block, is he had what I call the big four. And what are the big four? The big four were all about people. So you had these principles, and then you had it all about people. And all people want to be needed. All people want to be wanted. They want to be recognized, and they want to belong. So those principles of how you treat people, let them know they're needed, show them that you want them, recognize them for a job well done, reward them, and let them know that they belong, they're part of a family. To this day, when we have a meeting at Foot Levelers, it's a family meeting. That's what we do. And the next thing that he taught me that I've always tried to remember is to be optimistic and have positive thinking. That makes such a difference. He always said that your attitude takes you to your altitude, and the way you look at something and the way you view it, it's always half full rather than half empty. You look at the positive things in life. And why? Because that energy does transfer to your people. It transfers to the profession. And if you're excited, passionate, and positive, it has a good effect. So that was the third thing that he taught me. And then the last principle usually was with some motivation on his end to me, which was the secret of success, do it now. He said, you've decided to do it. You've looked at it enough, get it done. And he would send me on a mission to get that done. So those are the principles and the things he taught me on a big global scale. We could talk all day, but those were kind of the highlights.
Wow, I can totally see that coming through from Foot Levelers. So that's really awesome. Okay, Dr. Joe, back to you now. The next question, Jamie, I'm going to jump in. And ask this one for Jamie, okay? What are some of the innovative firsts that Foot Levelers has been able to achieve in its 70-year history?
Sure. Hi, guys. Thanks again for having us. I just want to echo Kent's gratitude for being here today. We're so proud that we are 70 years old this year, and we have had 7 decades of firsts in our company's history, which we're really proud of. The first is the first casting kit. We actually, created the first casting kit to take the impression of the foot, which of course is how we made the first spinal pelvic stabilizer. We created the first cervical pillow. I think that there's necessity is the mother of invention in this case, where there was a car accident and Dr. Monte needed to support his neck in a particular position while he was sleeping, and there was nothing on the market, so he created that. And now we all know how popular cervical pillows are. We had the first digital scanner in the early 2000s, which introduced this concept to market to be able to revolutionize the way that we actually engage with our customers and bring product to market and be able to serve customers more quickly. We've had several iterations of that over the years and have been able to introduce new and better elements of technology that, including a 3D image of the foot. There's a digital laser scanner that we have out on the market now. And then in terms of products, we've revolutionized the way that we sell the spinal pelvic stabilizer. Over the course of many years, we have introduced many other layers and different types of materials that have allowed for certain aspects of improved performance, flexibility, accommodating certain conditions like diabetes. So we've really been able to flex and grow certain areas to meet the needs of our customers. And we're really proud of that.
Wow.
I had no idea about the initial molds for the spinal pelvic stabilizers being a first worldwide. I think that's outstanding. And I learned that from the article. So no, you guys are doing a great job. Of course, I've got a 3D scanner in my office, which I use frequently. And even recently, I think it came out with a new orthotic, which had different technology, the InMotion Plus, I believe. But now
That's right. That's actually one of the things. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I do want you to talk about that. But when I looked at the initial mold here, it's a 2/3, which it's on page 28 of the American Chiropractor, of course. But it looks pretty similar to what we have currently. If we were to buy a 2/3 sized orthotic, has that changed much? And how did he come about those kinds of measurements for that, for example? I mean, how did he determine that was the best?
Sure. Well, I think that, initially as the original inventor and creative of the product, over trial and error and just by working with the patients and knowing intimately the anatomy of the foot and knowing so much about biomechanics, which all chiropractors know well, know about very well, he was able to understand where there needed to be specific corrections and support in the foot. And knowing that each foot is unique by coming up with several algorithms that we still use today that are the basis for a lot of our prescriptions, we're able to do that. I can't talk about that. That's kind of like the McDonald's or the Coke secret recipe, but that makes us, do what we do. And of course, we've had tens of millions of people who have used these over the course of the year. So they do, that does stand the test of time. But I'd love to comment on what you brought up earlier about the InMotion Plus, because it is the most recent product that we've brought to market. We've actually had two in the last year, and I'd like to talk about both, but the most recent one is the InMotion Plus. And what's really interesting about that is you brought up the dress length, or you said it's the 2/3 length. And really that's something for a tighter fitting shoe. Mm-hmm. And back in the 50s and 60s, when we were bringing these to market, there was an opportunity to use that in the shoe that most people wore, which was more of a dress loafer every day. Now shoes, we have a variety of shoes and a different variety of lasts that we have to meet the needs for different patients. So that's why we also have a full length that allows someone to really be able to toe off and have some additional support during the propulsive stage of the gait cycle. But the InMotion Plus really focuses on some really neat aspects of innovation in its top cover. So it's got some far infrared technology, which actually redirects the energy back into the body. And it also is 47% more shock absorption and 130% more propulsion than any of our other orthotics, which is really revolutionary, because if you think of how active people are, we all live very busy lives. And if we're performance focused or we just want to have constant energy throughout the day, this is a product that's great for everybody and can make you feel good and make your day and all the steps you take a little bit easier.
No, absolutely.
So it's been very
absolutely. When I saw you kind of put that out there, I immediately started recommending those to all my knee patients, of course, that are coming in complaining of knee pain, and all those that are like trying to avoid it as well. I mean,
sure. Have you had some good results with that, Dr.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm wearing some right now. So, and I just keep them up to date.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, we had someone on previously, and he was talking about he wrote an article on foot levelers technology, and he was like, it's like boiling an egg, right? You can't unboil an egg. So if you get like the knee problems, it's harder to get back. And so preventative is always the best.
Prevention is
key. But so building on that, though.
Thank goodness our person knows that.
Exactly. Now I get the ones with the magnets too, because you have that as an option, because I'm like, I'll take it all, you know. Jamie, was there another product that you're bringing on right now that we need to be aware of?
Yes. And thanks for asking. The other product we actually launched in our 70th year, we launched in the course of a year, 2 new products, which is a little bit more ambitious than we normally, have in a new product cycle. But this product is also very unique, and that's for expectant mothers. We developed a 3-system orthotic package that's specifically for women in their 2nd and 3rd trimesters, and then the year following having their baby in that postpartum period. And we know that a woman's body changes significantly with weight gain and as their center of gravity shifts throughout their pregnancy. So they really do inhabit 3 different bodies. I've had 2 children, and I can speak to this myself through weight gain and through just general shifts. You've got more relaxin in your body. You definitely feel the effects of that growth and experiencing the miracle. And it's nice to be able to be supported in a time where you really want to stay away from any type of chemicals that go in your body and support your body naturally. So the most common effect of pregnancy with that weight gain and center of gravity shift is low back pain. And the best, non-invasive, non-pharma, treatment for that is really to support your kinetic chain. So we all know that starts with the feet. The feet are your foundation. So by using this particular system throughout your pregnancy, we have had great results. We've had women rave that in the first pregnancy, they had some back pain or they had a lot of back pain, but in their 2nd pregnancy or even 3rd pregnancies, now using this mother nurture system, it was reduced to virtually nothing. They could go about their daily lives. They actually had a better and healthier pregnancy because they were able to stay more active longer, which of course, allows for better outcomes during childbirth, delivery, and then in the postpartum period. So we're really excited about it. It's a very niche product that we've brought to market, but there's nothing else on the market like it. And, we invite all of you to check it out, because I think that for that population of patients that you treat, it's something unique and really beneficial. We've gotten, a lot of positive feedback.
So how does that work? I mean, is it because the body does go through a lot of changes? I mean, sometimes the feet get bigger, and definitely the added weight gain, and you've got to be paying attention to that and how that's going to be distributing throughout the body. So is it just one orthotic and then it's, or?
No, it's actually a 3-part system. So with one scan, we'll make a set of 3 different orthotics, taking into consideration some predictive data as well as some of the algorithms and measurements that we use in our regular process and making a prescription product to provide the woman with these 3 pairs of custom orthotics that will, be able to support them through those different periods in their pregnancy, trimester 2, trimester 3, and then the postpartum period.
Great. So if someone's out there listening right now and they're like, well, I want this product, how do they go about it? Do they have to have a digital scanner, or is there something else they can do, or is that kind of the prerequisite, or?
Well, obviously, the digital scanner is the easiest way to get us orders because we can have them in minutes, no matter where you are in the country or in the world. Even if you're, in Panama, you can send us an order and we'll have it in minutes. So it's certainly more efficient. But, if for any of our customers or people who are interested in using a casting kit, we can certainly make a pair of orthotic that way. And you can go online to our website and create there's a form that you can complete that says that you're interested in the product. That comes to our team. We'd be happy to take care of you.
Great.
And get you a starter kit.
So as I was going to just building on everything that you've set up to now, can you talk a little bit about how the orthotics, why are they so important? Like, why are the feet important when we're talking about low back pain? Although that's not the only reason that chiropractors are recommending orthotics. And I understand that even your dad was doing this because he found his adjustments weren't holding. So how does that play into this whole dynamic that we're talking about, spinal pelvic stabilizers? Why is the foot important?
It's a fantastic question, Dr. Joe, and it fits in exactly what we do. Mm-hmm. Because the thing I always like to say, and I'm sure you see this in your practice, is that when the foot hits the ground, everything changes. Whatever is going on in their body through that kinetic chain, that makes a switch, makes a change when you do this. Now, this is a first for me. I've never done this. I've done it for live audiences for 20 years, 30 years. But I'm going to ask you to stand up with me. Do you think we can do this on what we're doing here?
Well, Jaclyn can because I mean, I think. Oh, all right.
Stand up and put your fingers on your greater throat canter. That way, Jaclyn, way to go. You're up there right away.
Do I need to
And
get
put
my
your
feet up
fingers
here?
on the greater throat canter. Jaclyn, you might not know where they are, but I know that Joe does. And what I want you to do is to have your feet shoulder width apart and bring your feet in like you're pronating a little, then out like you're supinating, but keep them on the ground. In, out, in, out, in, out. And you can feel the greater trochanter go up, down, right? Correct?
Yeah, sure.
Say yes.
Definitely, yeah.
All right. Now turn to the left.
All right.
All right. Well, we're folks at home, you're going to have fun with it. Okay, you do
Right,
this
exactly.
too, folks. So now I want everybody to turn to the left. And what's your left foot doing? It's pronating. What's your right foot doing? It's supinating. I mean, your left foot is supinating, your right foot is pronating. Now let's turn to the right. Your left foot is pronating, right foot is supinating. Now I want you to cheat. Put your fingers up on the greater trochanter and try to move your feet as small a distance as you can. Tiny, 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 little. No matter what you do, you'll still palpate and feel that motion in your greater trochanter. And that we can sit down, and that's why we say when the foot hits the ground, everything changes. Now, why did we do this? The reason we did this is to demonstrate the kinetic chain of how this works, but we also wanted the doctors and the patients to realize that when they get an adjustment, sometimes it doesn't hold like you'd like. And that's what happens. That's what happens in the doctor's office. They can give a good adjustment. They go out the door. They step on their foot and things change. Why does that happen? If we had two arches that are like this and one dropped down, one was shorter, that actually creates a functional scoliosis because this drops down, the pelvis compensates to the short leg side, the spine goes to the short leg side, and as a result, you've got this functional scoliosis going on. When we put the spinal pelvic stabilizer in, we get that balanced. The adjustment holds better. We've been doing that forever. What's the culprit? The connective tissue. It stretches, it doesn't come back. So when we adjust, no matter what we do, it doesn't hold. It's not the permanency. That's why the original spinal pelvic stabilizer. Can you imagine trying to Google that today? The spinal pelvic stabilizer was the original name because it helps stabilize when they stand on their feet. So, this is a 12-hour seminar that we just did in 4 minutes. So, but I hope that I hit the high point of that foot-spine connection. And the whole idea in introducing this in the beginning was nothing more than make the adjustment hold better. That's it. That's all it is. Did that help clarify a little?
Well, a lot of chiropractors are out there hitting the high points and thinking, what the heck is going on? So you made such an eloquent kind of test there very quickly that they can do in their office to demonstrate to their patients. So I think that's something I'm going to use. Now, how does that play into the back pain model then, or the conservative back pain model?
Well, as far as treating back pain, I just wrote I just wrote a paper that's going to be in the Journal of Compensation Benefits. And what's that? That's a journal that the people that are in the Fortune 1000, the biggest corporations in the United States, read. And they read it to understand what type of health insurance they should purchase for their employees. And so there's about a 10 to 12 page paper that's going to be published very soon that talks about back pain and the problems that it causes because it's a big deal. Let me share this information with you about back pain cost and what happens with it, and then how we can fix it. Okay? So just as general information,
please.
83 million lost days of work per year. That's how many lost days per worker in the United States per year by having low back pain. That's a lot of time off. 83 million days? Come on. Okay? The back pain cost to deal with this is $12 billion. And the annual cost for treatment is $253 billion. It's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Now, what do they normally do? They normally go, and not a conservative way to do it. That's your question. But what do they do in the real world? Well, they typically don't go conservative. They might do injection. They might do some exercises. They might do some prescriptions. And I want to tell you about the prescriptions. Every year in the United States, 187 million prescriptions are given for opioids. 1 out of 4 of those prescriptions, 45 million roughly, are given for low back pain. 20% of those people are going to become addicted. So 4 times 2 is about 8 million. About 16 million are going to have a problem. But the bottom line is this. 187 people die each day because of opioid overdose. Now, so let's go back to your question. Why would we treat it conservatively? Because with chiropractic, and we have a study that has been published in the Journals of Archives of Physical Medicine, we have shown that just by having a chiropractic adjustment and wearing foot levelers, you can reduce that pain about 40% right away. So the case for conservative care is quite strong. Why would you potentially treat someone with a modality, an RX prescription that doesn't work and has a potentially deadly outcome versus a very conservative, proper approach? If we just put the foot leveler in, it goes down 35% of the back pain right away. Why wouldn't you do that, which is a class 1 medical device, like a toothbrush, and take that approach instead of this dangerous one? So the whole conservative thing that I'm trying to say is, let's think chiropractic first. Let's get rid of the functional scoliosis. Let's not allow the adjustment. Let's allow the adjustment to work. Adjustment's key to health. Let's have it work and support it. So we've got a happy patient that has good outcomes and is alive. Why don't we do that?
Yeah, we like that. That's better.
My case for being conservative.
That's a good case. Well, let me jump in really quick because I think we've got about 5 minutes left. And I know we wanted to be really punctual on this. We have a couple more questions I wanted to point to you, Jamie, which was, how has foot leveler supported the chiropractic profession over the last 7 decades?
Well, I think first and foremost, to piggyback off what Kent just said, I mean, we support the chiropractor's ability to treat and care for their patients in a non-invasive way and allow the body to heal itself. And we're proud to do that. We're proud to partner with our doctors and help them enable the patients to live a really healthy life. I would also say that Foot Levelers has, gifted a lot. Our philanthropy and our philosophy about philanthropy, we take very seriously. We've committed for many, many years to support the state associations and boards. And, we've supported all the states at one point of time or another, or currently we have supported all of the chiropractic colleges. And in total, as you roll up that entire number, it's been over $34 million. And we're very proud of that. And, we're constantly looking for more ways to support the profession, to support all of you, doctors of chiropractic, in your quest to provide great quality healthcare and to normalize the type of support and healthcare, that we provide to patients. So not only are we passionate about the products that we hope will help you in that quest, but also the support to the profession in general. So we're very proud of that, and we'll continue to do so.
No, you should be proud of it. I mean, I think the article cited $748,000 you were able to raise for victims of Hurricane Katrina. That's going above and beyond when one doesn't really need to do something like that to be able to be sure that the community, remains intact. And that's really what it's about. That's what we do with the magazine for. It's a community we have that we want to make sure can keep growing.
Sure.
Jaclyn, was there something else you wanted to?
Last question was, of course, now this is very similar, but I was looking back over the 70 years of Foot Leveler success. Jamie, what has been the company's most impactful accomplishment, do you think?
I think just the relationship with all of our doctors. I mean, it's really a testament to, the service that we provide, but also the extension of what we do for everybody that has experienced the benefit of our products. And, I can't say that it's one particular thing. I think certainly monumental was just the invention of the spinal pelvic stabilizer, which of course we now call an orthotic. That really changed everything. But just being able to provide that and the partnership with our doctors and being able to support the profession has been really impactful and will continue to drive what we do now and in the future.
Outstanding. Now, is there anything else that we did not cover that you wanted to kind of touch on? Because now that we have you here, I know that you're tight for time, but I mean, I don't know when we'll get this chance again. So I got to be sure that we cover all of our bases.
I really can't think of anything.
Well, I've got one I'm going to throw in here because nobody mentioned this. Now, Dr. Joe always does the invitation of me as his sister first, and then, oh, by the way, and a publisher. So I wanted to address the father and daughter dynamic, the second and third generation of this amazing company that is Foot Levelers. So tell us a little bit about that dynamic. How has it been on a personal level as well as professional?
Well, I think that it's been for me, as third generation.
Jeez, I think I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Yeah. Sometimes we talk over each other.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Kent. I was just going to say, I really appreciate working with Kent. I've certainly learned a lot from him, and I'm grateful to be in the business. It's something that's unique, in my situation, to have grown up around all of this and in the profession, and just being aware from that. I feel very lucky and fortunate to be able to do this every day. And of course, to partner with someone who I respect so deeply and who's done so much for so many. So I've certainly learned a lot and feel very, very humbled being in the position I'm in.
And that's now to you, Kent, since you guys are not finishing each other's sentences just yet.
Well, as I said earlier, I feel very lucky. Jamie's great. She's wonderful to work with. She's a fast study. She's passionate, smart. The doctors love her. The people in the building love her also. And she's just going to do so great and take the foundation that is her grandfather, my father, and what I did, and just it's going to hit the stratosphere. It's going to be wonderful. So happy as can be.
Super. You guys both have an amazing legacy. It's such an honor for us to get to work with both of you and, of course, Foot Levelers. And so we appreciate everything that you're doing for chiropractic. Keep up the great work.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for letting us be a part of the conversation today. We're really grateful to have the time together.